Hey, Sherwood.
Hi. Hi. Hello.
Still didn't say
Hello?
my name.
Aaron.
God damn it.
I mean, I already know who you are.
Well, you don't, or you do, but maybe the audience fucking doesn't.
Right. It's for their benefit.
It's for their benefit. That's what it's all about.
Makes sense to me.
It's all about the skullfuckers out there, man.
Those are the fans.
Those are the fans.
Skullfuckers.
It's all about. You're the one that came up with that name.
Skullfuck boys.
Okay, that's disrespectful.
To who?
The skullfuckers. To all the skullfuckers.
Skullfuckers. Okay.
So, been a bit since we did a podcast. We've seen some shit, recent events, all that. What you been up to, Sherwood James?
Nothing much. Just chilling and thrilling.
Thrilling? Who you thrilling? What are your thrills?
Scary movies.
Are those thrills, really, at this point?
Yeah. They're good old scare 'em up.
Are you really getting thrills out of seeing all these movies? Out of the Puppet Master franchise, you're getting thrills!
Not the Puppet Master franchise. No.
How's your last week or so been? Your last month? What you been up to?
Pretty busy. Just working, mostly.
Yeah?
Nothing much.
I was real busy with my new job.
Yeah,
for
how'd that go?
About 2 days, and then 2 days of total working, being there, and then I quit because McDonald's is a hellhole, and I threw up.
Can't tell,
and I can't take it.
The smell. Get out of the kitchen.
Can't take any. Can't take the heat. Can't take the smell. Wasn't for me. I probably should have stuck it out, but fuck it. Fuck it.
Those sweet discounts.
Those sweet discounts are missed.
I was loving it.
So much free coffee. I had free coffee like every day, and I worked once. I was pretty good at it, pretty much the best worker they had day one.
Yeah.
Not a doubt, it's just how I do.
Good for you. Can't use that on a resume.
No, absolutely not. I can't show my face in that restaurant again.
It's alright.
It's fine. They probably don't give a shit. I mean, they go through customer or employees like every fucking week. But I've been applying other places, and my favorite thing is I applied at Taco Bell, and Taco Bell doesn't hire employees. Taco Bell does not have employees. They have two types of champion. You got your service champion and your food champion. Service champions are just customer service, taking the orders, giving the food, that shit. Food champions make the food, obviously. Why are they called fucking champions? What are you a champion of working at fucking Taco Bell? Champion of the food service industry?
Champion of Mexican-style food, fast food.
I felt really discriminated against, because in the application process, first thing they asked, are you Mexican? And I'm like, no.
Probably a plus, right?
Probably. Makes him look more authentic. Probably. But I'm a white man. I'm a tall, bald, white guy.
You could just wear the right shirt, just button the top.
There is no possible way I could pass for Mexican. Not in a million years.
Get a tan a little bit.
I physically cannot tan. My skin has a pigment deficiency. I'm like 2 steps above an albino person.
Yeah, you burn on a cloudy day.
I burn on a cloudy day. If I put on like suntan like lotions that are like, it just tans your skin with the lotion, it just like smudges and doesn't look right. It like doesn't take. It looks like I got some kind of skin disease. Like I got fucking scurvy. Other than the McDonald's, which I quit.
McDonald's fiasco.
I've been working on writing stuff, playing a lot of Dragon Ball Fighter Z. The hot shit. So good. What are your thoughts on this Dragon Ball Fighter Z?
Best Dragon Ball Z game I've played.
I played a lot of Dragon Ball games, and they're almost all bad. This one's great.
I liked Budokai 3.
Budokai's very fun, but it's not a good game.
It got all like 3D and crazy after that.
Yeah, I never really cared that much for Tenkaichi. It's a good Dragon Ball toy box, but other than that, it's just not very fun to play.
But Fighters looks good.
Plays the best. Plays the best. The online is still a little fucky, but like the network's good. It's super. The netcode super solid. The netcode is solid. My team is unstoppable. I came about this top tier team coincidentally. everyone's playing some variation of this team right now, which is Android 16, Goku Black, and Vegeta.
Because they're the best.
They're just, right now, at least, the best characters in the game. And they work well together, and they're really fun to play. But, like, Vegeta's been my favorite character since I was a child. Goku Black is the dumbest, edgiest OC, and has been my favorite character since his introduction.
Key Scythe.
His Key Scythe and his energy
Cool
blades and shit. It's so stupid. And I love him. And I was determined to play him before it was revealed that he was the top tier character of the game. And then Android 16, I was just like, I need one more character to fill out my team on day one. And it was like, I like the way this guy plays. And then I don't give a fuck about Android 16, but he just plays so well.
He's this big stomping robot.
He's got great range. He's not slow. He does the most damage.
Like a Terminator.
He has the best, like some of the best options in the whole fucking game. His only weaknesses really are, he doesn't really have any projectile options that are good, and his assist is kind of shit. But other than that, he's fucking amazing. So you put him on point, and then you have Goku, Black, and Vegeta with amazing assists, and you just fuck people up and do 60% combos with one bar.
I don't know any combos.
You know, you had not played it nearly as much as me. You were getting down the Magic series.
I remember the buttons.
Someone's at my door.
Who's that?
You guys,
What?
listen to this.
Oh.
Say something.
Poopy butt. Uh, hilarious. Ha!
Oh, farts.
He also
Scratching
look.
nails.
Ha! He loves it. Ha ha! Alright, get out of here. We're busy.
Yeah. See ya.
See ya.
Say that again.
Get out of here, kid! Didn't say anything. Didn't say anything.
Okay, say it again.
Get out.
Oh, say it
Get out.
again.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Cock-a-roostle
I'm
do.
impressed.
And that was a peek into any interaction with my nephew.
A child's laughter.
Now you know what my life is like every day.
A living hell.
Trying to sit in here and read a fucking book. On the door. And it's some dumb shit on his tablet.
Farts.
Farts and poopy buttholes. That's the life of a child.
Mr. Poopy Butthole
In
from Rick and
2018.
Morty.
Ha ha ha, Pickle Rick, right?
Classic.
I just dabbed for those listening in the audio version.
Is there a video version?
No. But I like to give false information to make people think more impressive things are going on in the background that they're just not seeing. Other than all that shit, other than fighters, I've been watching Gundam 0079, the original one. It looks like shit because it's from the 70s, but the show's super good. Surprisingly, it's super legitimate and solid. Not a lot to say on that. I'm not actually that far in.
Story or
It's
characters?
political story stuff, and the characters are
Intrigue.
really good, and it's deconstructing mecha shit well before Evangelion was. Amuro is like mentally fucked that whole show. It's good. It's fun shit. But I've also been watching Orange is the New Black, that prison lady show on Netflix. I honestly have no fucking clue what to think of this show.
What's going on? It's women's prison?
They're just fucking around in prison, and someone's getting up to something, and people being sassy, and then this person's trying to kill this person. Drug deals.
Well, I mean, if it's in a prison, what else are they going to do?
Not a lot.
All that stuff?
And it's like, the main character has like 1 year of prison, but there's like 5 seasons of this show, so
She gets in more trouble?
probably gets in more trouble at some point,
Has to
gets
kill a
out
person in there.
and goes out. She thought she killed a person at the end of season 1. I've just gotten into season 2. It's like, the show's just, it's weird because it's kind of good, but then it's also like, it just spends so much time on characters no one gives a fuck about. Because it's kind of like Lost, where
Characters.
there's the characters that are in the situation, and then every episode is dedicated to one character's backstory through flashbacks. And
They just go back and forth.
they go back and forth. Like, an event happens that reminds me of thing that happened when I was younger.
Like an arrow. Where
Yeah, like literally that.
flashback episode.
Everything is a flashback to something. And, like, so many of the characters are just fucking boring and nothing. Like, the chef lady, Red, and she's a Russian lady. She has red hair, and she was in the Mafia or something. And it's like, she gets multiple episodes dedicated to her backstory. All this shit of time invested into her. And she's fucking nothing. Like, she has barely any personality. She's just kind of a cunt, and that's it. And then characters that you are somewhat interested in. She's mean to people, and she's just a cunt in general. She's not a nice person. But not in an interesting way. She's just
like a jerk.
This person just sucks and is not interesting. Yeah, it's alright. My biggest problem with it...
B+.
I would say a C+. My biggest problems with it, too, I have two problems. It's one that the two main female characters are also just really shitty people, but most of the time they're presented in a sympathetic light, so it's really weird of what they're trying to do there. Like, I don't get it. But the other problem is it's called Orange is the New Black, but all the uniforms in the prison are khaki!
They don't wear orange?
They don't wear fucking orange in this Orange is the New Black prison show! What the fuck are you...
Does the color orange make an appearance at all?
Yeah, I mean, some people wear orange sometimes, like when they're getting
the bad
transferred
one.
between places, but the uniform of the prison they're in is khaki. Is someone getting a fucking phone call?
No, it's an alarm that goes off. I don't know why.
Jesus Christ. We've also still been watching Riverdale. Any thoughts on the current state of Riverdale?
It's pretty spooky. And, much I love spooky stuff.
Alright, you see, spooky...
Yeah, what do you mean by spooky?
Spooky has unfortunately lost all form of meaning now. Because we have our mutual understanding of spooky.
We've been saying spooky for a while.
We've been saying spooky for years because...
Before it got cool.
Scooby-Doo. We want Scooby-Doo shit.
Just by not watching Scooby-Doo.
I've watched a lot of Scooby-Doo. But...
Mystery Inc.
I've not watched Mystery Inc. I watched the original cartoon.
And then you were like, I want to watch this.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling it. But
and
whatever.
I started watching it and I just, forgot.
We have our mutual understanding of what spooky literally means of... Sort of scary, goosebumpsy.
A lot of people I know aren't into that shit.
They are not.
They're too scared, or they just don't care.
I'll edit it out. Spooky.
Yeah.
But what spooky fucking means now is fucking anything.
Yeah.
Kids are saying spooky that's cool. That's not what spooky means.
I think they say a lot of words that have no meaning, and they get the meaning.
Yeah.
Because language evolves.
Mm-hmm. Language evolves and it just changes.
So
but why take away that one?
Spooky's time is
That's
over.
our word! That was ours! And they took it! These motherfuckers. It's the one part of young vernacular. I don't like it! Anyway, Riverdale.
It's spooky, but there's not actual...
There's nothing spooky going on.
Magic, supernatural stuff.
At least not yet.
Not
They've hinted
really.
at it.
Yeah.
And Sabrina the Teenage Witch show on Netflix is in the same universe, so magic does exist.
They could just do whatever they want. They could have Sam and Dean roll in there.
Absolutely. I want that. I want Arrow to show up, and I want the Flash to show up.
That'd be so cool.
I want all of it.
He just runs over
Constantine.
Riverdale. They mentioned
bring him in there.
Greendale, so Community could be in there too.
Community, get Joel McHale, reprise his role. Lando, throw him in there.
They just have so many options to do almost literally anything.
They could do almost anything they want from here.
Or even what if episodes.
I think right now we're looking
wake up at the end and it's a dream.
We're looking at Riverdale right now before it's gotten extremely stupid. in a couple years, we're going to look back on season 2 and be like, remember when Jughead was fucking around with the serpents?
Well, no matter what's happening, the premise of the show is Jughead is writing this book of everything that's happening. So what if he has, like, he writes side stories of, like,
guidance.
Yeah, like
what if
someone turning into a
scenarios.
Monster. Or...
He's trying out new things with the
Yeah.
book, and he's like trying to rebrand it.
What if Archie became a werewolf?
I'd be all aboard that. He's a Jughead's a vampire. Archie's
Side
a werewolf.
stories.
I want this. I want this to be the show. Give me like Teen Wolf, but with Archie. I think the show's kind of taken a bit of a hit in quality. Mostly into the second half of season 2.
Like in the visuals, or
Not in the no, like the just quality of the show.
the overall.
The package. Yeah, like as a show you watch, it's.
Yeah, I
They-
liked it a lot more in season 1 because it was more legit. I think
It was more legitimately
Straightforward.
straightforward of a mystery. And then they introduced the Black Hood in the first half of season 2.
Now
And
everyone was
then,
just kind of fucking around.
yeah, everyone was
Getting
super
involved
serious
in murders.
about the Black Hood. But then they sort of wrapped that thing up halfway through season 2. But
Did
then
they get him? Was that him?
I don't think it was actually him. They just like sort of put that on hold, I think. Of it's like, we took out the Black Hood, quote unquote, but it's like they didn't really get him, so then
Setup.
next season or the
That's what I
season
thought.
after, the Black Hood can show back up and all that shit, so they can have it and then get away from it
Does
for a
Archie
while.
remember the Black Hood's eyes?
He remembers the green eyes, and then the guy that it was, quote unquote, didn't have green eyes, so it's like,
But they keep showing people, and it's like, do they have green eyes? I can't tell sometimes.
yeah, it's a little weird. The colors in the show are inconsistent at best. A little bit like JoJo's, in that people are just sometimes way different looking from colors.
Yeah.
They'll re-dye their hair and it'll just look like a random different episode in... Jesus
Trying to turn it off.
Christ.
There we go. Got it.
Jesus fucking Christ. Riverdale. It's a show.
It's pretty stupid. Jughead's like...
It's
so
incredibly stupid.
He's such a jerk.
Yeah, Jughead went
Part of the
from,
gang.
bar none, the best character on the show to probably, not the worst, but of the main crew, the most annoying.
Dad's so unreliable, but I hope he can do it this time. And
That-
then he gets his heart broken.
That part was fine.
That was good.
It's the shit
And then
after that.
Now he's just
They're just
getting in all sorts of
both
shit.
doing such stupid
Whoa,
shit.
Jughead, how could you cut this lady's tattoo off? Despite being the leader of a gang that doesn't deal more than weed.
What
All the
the
hard
Southside
They
Serpents...
always follow the law. Serpents follow the law.
Serpents hibernate.
The serpent's
They,
fangs.
we were doing...
Serpent's tears.
We're putting up our first two fingers, middle and index.
like claws. But they're fangs.
Like
they're
fangs. And pointing them at each other, because that's what...
Serpents stand tall.
I know the laws! Because the serpents have laws, and
They follow the law.
they're such they're the most inconsistent gang I've ever seen. I
They
honestly
used to be like the scourge of the town.
I have
And Jughead's dad was like Mr. Evil, pretty much. Like the devil walking around, and everyone was like, this guy.
this guy's bad.
And he was a deadbeat father.
He's a deadbeat
Then
dumbass.
he turned it all around. He like took the fall.
Got a job at Pops.
And then he got out and he turned it all around.
They started drinking again, and then it was just fine the next episode. And they never...
And now he's like a moral figure.
Yeah. But I guess
Trying to guide
still
Jughead.
drinking?
But Jughead's fucking up because he's leading the gang, but then he's like trying to make him do crazy stuff. And then they're like, no more gang outfits. And Jughead's like, what the fuck? And everyone else is like, whoa, Jughead, come on. It's no big deal.
A serpent never sheds their skin.
And then he publishes an article in the newspaper.
And he's shit-talking this old man that was a Native American whose family was
Saying
destroyed
he was, like,
and
pathetic.
put in internment camps and shit.
Yeah, the town's past.
The town's seeded history.
Because there was like a celebration going on.
Yeah,
for,
celebrating the
general
founder.
guy.
Tying in to current events with the statues and all that shit.
The
Although
Confederate soldiers.
current events of like last June, maybe not right now,
Yeah.
but it's
Statues, they're taking them down.
It's in
around.
there. Yeah, the Riverdale constantly
So they
does.
cut off the statue's head.
Yeah, they do tons of tie-ins to events happening in the political landscape of
Triggered.
2018. What are you, triggered, Snowflake? Donnie Darko over here. That's one of my favorite things in all media is when people use the name of a movie or a
They say
TV
Nancy
show.
Drew quite a bit.
Whenever they use the name
Good
of a
job,
thing
Nancy Drew.
as an insult, I love it. And not enough things do it, even though it is totally overplayed.
It's like some kind of dream demon from Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
Sound like the crazy old man from the Friday the 13th movies. God, fucking this show's so terrible. I love it. But we should get on to the big thing that came out that we saw. That's the big thing, the Black Panther. Hey, yo, we spoiling this movie. There's timestamps on the screen. Sorry. Yeah. I don't have a lot to say on it. It's pretty good. A little long.
It's very good, and it is very long. That's my opinion.
I'm like, I enjoyed it, but it's just so much.
Yeah.
It's just
There's
so
a lot going
long.
on there. They cut it down from like 4-something hours.
It really feels like they should have just, from the beginning, made a much simpler movie.
I'm surprised that there's so much in there, and like they
Lot
took
in
the
there.
time and made stuff look good.
Yeah.
And they really fleshed out the world, like compared to any other of the Marvel movies.
Yeah, so
Like-
much time was put into that shit.
Maybe Thor.
Maybe. Thor doesn't fucking
Thor-
matter. No
Thor
one gives a fuck
Ragnarok.
about Thor.
Haven't seen that one.
We've only seen the first one, and I have no motivation to see the other one. I've heard Ragnarok's really good,
Yeah, they're like being funny.
but I don't care. I'll watch it. But
Black Panther was really good.
yeah, it was good.
And all the technology, like, because it was millions of years ago, a meteor struck the
Well, the
Earth
dinosaurs
in the
were
heart of
there.
Africa. Was it?
I don't. I just like saying that.
And then early humans found the metal. It's vibranium.
The vibranium.
It's the most powerful metal on Earth, and it's like
Most powerful.
Captain America's shield. It's
Captain America's
cool
shield.
shit. And it absorbs impacts, kind of.
Wasn't it part of making adamantium?
Yeah. It's adamantium and vibranium.
Oh yeah, they
in
made
Captain America's shield.
Captain America's shield. Yeah.
And adamantium's really strong.
Yeah.
So yeah, like they have it. Wakanda, that's where it landed. 5 tribes get together. And,
I mean, we don't need to recap the whole fucking story.
Well, I mean, that's just the setup for
Yeah.
the world. And Wakanda has all the vibranium.
Yeah. Really, I have not much to say about it other than
They put the suit in the necklace.
what's his
It's pretty
face?
cool. Who?
Chronicle Man.
Chadwick Boseman?
No.
Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan and Gollum. They steal the movie.
Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis. They're the best parts of the movie, and that's
I thought Andy Serkis was pretty good.
He was.
I don't know if I would say steal the movie, but
I say he stole the movie
he was
because
having a lot of fun.
most other people just didn't show any personality most of the
Yeah.
time.
Dude, Martin Freeman, the American,
Ah,
he was
so boring.
like nothing.
he was nothing.
He was just there to be like, look surprised.
The
and
general woman was just like,
Not getting what's going
I'm
on."
snarky, but I'm also very serious.
I liked her.
I liked her, but she was just so...
I liked all the female characters. Maybe not the queen. She was kind of nuts.
The queen was kind of fucking nothing. My only real problem with the general lady is she was part of a team of bald women, and you put any
What do you mean?
5 people that are bald next to each other on a team.
Too many bald people.
You put 5 bald people together that are of the same race. No one's gonna be able to tell these fucking people apart.
You couldn't tell them apart.
The only reason I could tell the main one was a person is because she had the red tattoo thing.
I can tell them apart. They look pretty different.
At a glance, they all just look the
Different enough.
fucking same. They
Yeah,
look like a
just-
bunch of just bald
One's a
people.
little darker. One's a little.
At the end of the day, they're the same. They got the same general look, like white glasses
Okay.
people. You put 5 people, white guys with glasses. You're at a glance,
That's common.
fucking guys. You're not going to be able to individually
Bunch
just
of people with glasses.
at a look see the different characters because then like
all right, different people.
the
can
the reason I
tell
specifically
differences.
have a problem with this is because at one point one of the other black bald women gets her throat slit and it's at an angle where you
yeah.
can't see the red tattoo thing.
Huh?
So it's not the general.
Well, of course it wasn't the general. The general was over there.
But it cut straight to a
back.
bald black woman getting her throat slit for a second. I was like, is that the general? Oh,
you
no,
thought
it's
that
not.
was the general? No.
So it was like, well, why
Wow.
are you having all of these main characters look the fucking same?
I didn't consider that you couldn't tell the difference.
It's not that I couldn't tell them apart if I was really looking, but in an action scene where it's
I
like,
was following that
boom,
scene
this
pretty
is
good.
happening, and now
And
this person.
It was clearly one of the subordinate characters that didn't really get a lot of screen
Yeah,
time.
obviously. But at that
throwaway
point, why are they
character that
fucking
didn't
there in the
matter.
first place? They're just there to distract from
someone's
this
gotta-
bald
someone's
person.
gotta die.
You gotta vary up the designs of your primary characters.
Well,
If I guarantee you, the only reason that woman, or the main woman, had the red thing on her head was so people could tell her the fuck apart.
oh, you think?
Absolutely, because it's not even a race thing. It's you
Like a
put
main character.
they are wearing the same outfit and have the same hairstyle and are of the same
It's
race.
the uniform.
It is a uniform. They're gonna be hard to tell the fuck apart. Like you put 5 generic white Marines in a line, I ain't gonna be able to tell these fuckers apart. They're just white Marine guys.
If you look at the features, you can kind of see.
If you look
differences.
real close to the features, but guess what? Everyone, when they're like in that place, like they don't look like themselves. They're just out of boot camp typically, and they're like hyper skinny, and they don't look human.
just at a boot camp.
Well, yeah, that's in my mind what I was putting there. Whatever,
What? What
whatever.
are you talking about?
Either way, movie was all right. I didn't like the other general character, the one that was like married to the general lady.
Get Out guy.
Yeah,
Was that him?
was that him?
I don't know.
He was too thick.
He got like a side eye look.
He looked
but-
like him a little bit, but I don't think it was him. Yeah, he had like fucking nothing going on. Most characters just like they were there and they had nothing going on.
Well, I figured his relationship with the general, when like were they married or were they just
They called each other my love like one time and then spent
to
no other
to
time.
establish like they were connected like that?
And then at no other point in the movie did they
But-
spend any time together.
So then when later on, when like he's more like, yeah, I want to fight and shit, she was like, no, we can't be doing that.
And that's such like I hated that because
Politics.
that was like, why did all of the men stop fighting?
Who?
When everyone was fighting at the end, why did the one side stop fighting?
Oh, you mean when that general guy
When
surrendered?
they went to why did he surrender? She just said,
That was at the very
"Don't
end.
do it," and then he's like, "All right," and it's like,
Because he-
that's the end of this big confrontation? Is his wife says, "Stop it," and then it's done?
No, he was charging her with he was charging the other guy. Who's the other guy?
What other guy?
There was someone else fighting, and they got charged with the rhino, the siege rhino,
Mhm.
and then she jumps out, and it stops and licks her face because it knows her.
Yeah.
Because they were walking by the rhinos earlier, and they're like, "Hey, we know those rhinos."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, why did that end the
And
fight?
then-
Why did that end the fight?
And then he was like, "Okay, I can't win." So
Why?
he
Why?
surrendered
Why?
because he had to.
Why? They were winning. They had more people.
No, it was like a stalemate, I think.
But like there was no communication.
There was
It was
no
just
clear
like
victory. It was just kind of going along.
no, there was a clear victory because one side surrendered.
Yeah.
Well, and why did they? There was no
Surrender,
reason
so you
for
can
them to
stop-
surrender.
Stop the death.
From their perspective,
the dying.
they didn't know if their leader was winning or losing. Michael B. Jordan could have come up and won the whole thing. I'll probably have to put spoilers because we've gotten pretty specific here.
This is very spoilers.
Yes, we've talked outright spoilers. I will insert a warning.
I think it was pretty cool how the end of that fight
What fight?
with Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah. Well,
Can't
we're already in spoilers, so
say
just
that.
fucking say it.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
just established we're in spoilers.
Because they both got the suits, so it was like pretty much like, what are we gonna do?
Yeah, Kamen Rider fight.
You can't at this point they can't break each other out of their suits. Very good.
Because if you're in the Black Panther suit, you're
It's
invincible.
it's pretty much
essentially.
invincible. Yes, it is super durable. He grabbed onto the ground to make a car
Yeah.
turn really sharp.
Yeah, I don't know how the physics on that would work, but
yeah,
whatever.
He's like jumping. He can normally jump like 20 feet.
Yeah,
in the air
because
he has the power. And
he's
the
also
suit,
super powered.
The suit is like it enhances it.
And the suit is made of this toughest metal in the world.
He's the only person who can handle it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the end of the fight, they're down on the Sonic train, train railway, which they said like. The American character earlier was like, "Oh, what's going on down there?
What's going on?"
And she's like, "Oh, that's our Sonic rails." And it was like, "Woo!"
Woo, woo, woo.
And so
it makes vibranium not powerful.
Yeah, that's how they safely move the vibranium around. So they foreshadowed it, and he's like, "Turn it on right now!" And she turns it on, and so while they're fighting, their suits, which automatically form on their body, are like shifting in and out. So there's like patches of vulnerability. And at the end of the fight, he like throws the knife. Black Panther throws the knife in the air as the train's going by, and then like roll near at the like as it's passing, and like just when the sonic waves are turning off, like he grabs a knife and like stabs him in the last remaining hole on his chest.
Yeah, that fight was cool.
The killing blow.
Everything involving Michael B. Jordan was fan-fucking-tastic.
Yeah, I really liked his character.
He stole the show,
like by surprise too, because all I saw of him in the promos was just him like.
Yeah, he's just like serious.
I'm a threat.
I thought he was just going to be another like Marvel military villain, but no, he had a ton of personality.
Yeah, he had like total motivation.
Yeah, really solid motivation.
His dad got killed.
Had a fucking plan.
By his dad.
He was cool. He looked
Sins
good.
Of the
had
shit.
Good outfits.
Yeah. Oh man, I loved his jacket.
Oh, it wasn't a jacket. It was armor.
His armor jacket.
It wasn't a jacket.
It wasn't like real armor.
It clipped in the front, and it was metal armor.
And
how
is
it
not
armor? It's metal armor.
He took it all off at once, like a jacket.
Yeah, because he unclipped it. It clipped in the front. It's not a jacket.
Whatever.
It's armor.
You can make a jacket.
It's more closer to.
It was an actual jacket.
It's
in real
closer
life.
To a vest.
So if you shoot it in real life, would it?
No, it's not real fucking life.
That's what I'm saying.
It's fiction.
It's not like real armor.
No, but it was armor.
It's clothing made to look like armor.
It probably was made of metal.
I would totally wear that.
It probably was made of a cheap metal. And you would not look cool wearing it because it's not fiction.
Fuck you.
The same way... Get
an automail arm.
The same way that it doesn't deflect bullets in real life, it doesn't look cool in real life.
Man, fuck that.
No, fuck you. You don't understand how clothes work.
Fuck you.
You're wearing a fucking Superman shirt. Fuck you.
What? This is like the tightest shirt I have.
No, you don't even like Superman. No one likes
Superman's
Superman.
alright in some context.
No one likes Superman. Only nerds like Superman.
Okay. Ooh.
What are you, a
you got
nerd? You a dweeb?
Oh no, I'm so afraid to admit while wearing my letter jacket with a Freddy Krueger sticker.
Don't tear it off.
Coming on.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Maybe re-iron it. Maybe it'll sink back on. We should move on to Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We've seen the first two of them.
It's a screamer.
They're very weird movies.
And like especially for the time, I would imagine.
Yeah, the first one was in the 70s and it was just like they didn't actually show a lot of gore, which I was expecting, but then, knowing more about the history of horror movies, it's like you just couldn't get away with that shit.
Yeah.
Stuff like Evil Dead was considered near pornography at the time because it was
really?
So violent and like
wow.
This can't be. Like, yeah, those movies were getting banned in countries and shit. But it was just a weird, slow fucking movie about
running around.
People that just go to a place, get separated, and get killed. And then one person gets chased around for like a half an hour.
Yeah, she's like on the run for her life.
For a half an hour. Like the whole
minutes at a time.
Half-hour section is her just like
she's running, she's hiding.
Running, hiding.
Out. She gets captured again.
Almost killed. Running again.
Manages to escape somehow.
Then gets captured again.
Is on the run. And then at the very end sees another person. And then helps her get away. Yeah.
Fucking really weird movie. I'm happy we watched it just because it's one of the...
The second one is fucking weird.
Not done talking about the first one yet.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's one part of this movie we didn't talk about. And that was, I think, Frankie or whatever. This wheelchair kid.
Oh yeah, that piece of
This
shit.
piece of shit.
Man.
It's this fat guy in a wheelchair, and he's just like, I've lost my knife.
He doesn't want to be there. Is he not smart or something?
I don't know. He's like the sister of the main girl, or the brother of the main girl.
I was thinking he's just like kind of an idiot.
He's just kind of an idiot in a wheelchair, and he's fat, and no one likes him.
No charisma, and they're all like pretty nice to him. They're like, "Hey man, it's a good
He's
time."
like, man, I just like poking things with my knife.
Oh man, the guy with the knife, the hitchhiker.
Oh yeah, and they pick up a hitchhiker who's part of the family.
And he's like, "Can I see that knife?" And he
no, he doesn't say that. He just takes the knife out of his hand and cuts his hand open.
It looks real happy about it.
Yeah, because he's like fucking crazy.
And he gives the knife back, and then he's like, "And I have my own."
and pulls out another knife,
straight blade,
and then cuts the guy.
Starts cutting him.
Yeah, it's real fucking weird. And then
marks the car.
There's a dinner scene where the main girl wakes up tied to a chair, and the whole family's there. The dad, Leatherface.
Shit, yeah, they cut her finger, and then the dad sucks on
the
it.
grandpa sucked the blood out of her.
He's like 134 years old or something.
Yeah, but he's still kicking. He's still tough. He's the strongest. He kills him. He's the best at killing.
They give him the honor of hitting her over the head with a hammer.
They just keep
kill her,
placing this hammer in this 100-year-old man's hand. And he just drops it down.
And he tries to swing it and drops it behind him.
Meanwhile, the guy that was in the car is like standing next to him. Yeah, come on, Grandpa, you can do it. You're the best at killing, Grandpa. Get him, yeah. And Leatherface is like, and the dad's like, I don't like taking pleasure in the killing, but I don't know. I like I'm not got much heart for killing. But he fucking loves it, and they're all fucking crazy. And then she gets away, and that's about the end of it.
Yeah, she gets out of
the youngest guy, or the guy from the beginning, gets hit by a truck. And then, she gets in a car and gets away.
How many have we seen? Just the two?
Just the first two. There's 3 of the original movies. And then there's a bunch of remakes and like origin stories and shit. Whole bunch of shit. I'll look up the exact viewing order after 3, and then we'll go through those. But then 2. So the first one is like, it's weird, really weird, but it's mostly self-serious in what it's doing.
Crazy
like
people.
They're crazy. It's like, oh, they're crazy and they're gonna kill you. And then the second one, it's a cartoon.
They live in an abandoned amusement park.
The guy that got hit by the truck at the end of the first one got a metal plate in his head and looks like a zombie, but is just alive. Leatherface is still Leatherface.
I do like Human Remains.
Sherwood James, 2018.
No, like in the movies, when someone stumbles upon some human remains, it's always the great thing about horror movies, situations. That's also a situation of like, this is what happened here and what can't possibly happen to me the same way.
Yeah.
And they had that, and like there was like the chute of people that they just landed there and never walked away.
So I love 2. 2 is fantastic.
It's a madhouse.
It is a madhouse. And
it was a lot more weird.
And there were special effects by Tom Savini.
Yeah, a lot of practical effects.
Really good practical effects. Really weirdly sexual, which I'm coming around on in my horror movies after watching all these Hellraisers.
Coming on around to that.
I'm coming around to my sexual violence. And yeah, it was just an extremely weird fucking movie. Dennis Hopper's there, and he's like, goes to a chainsaw store, and then buys a big chainsaw, and he buys 2 small chainsaws so he can dual wield them. And he's like doing practice combos on the air, and then the chainsaw shop owner comes up and he's like, you want to test him out on the log outside? So then Dennis Hopper starts up his chainsaw and starts comboing the log outside, and the shop owner's like, get him!
He loves it.
He loves it. Like, he starts off a little unsure of it, But then after Dennis Hopper shows he knows what he's doing with this chainsaw, he's cheering him on.
So he gets in a fight with Leatherface.
So yeah, later in the movie, there's a chainsaw duel between Leatherface.
He gets him with the big one, and then he combos with the small one. Dual wielding.
The reason we started watching these is, well, partially because they're just next on the list, and also because they're one of the biggest inspirations for Resident Evil 7, along with Evil Dead and couple other ones, but boy, occasionally does it just really fucking show that they stole a lot of these ideas for Resident Evil 7.
Won't they just steal from movies?
7 especially just stole from movies, because it was written by the guy that wrote Fear, with Alma and all that, the game Fear.
Oh, the game Fear. Yeah,
yes.
Okay.
So it's a lot of that type of shit, spooky little girl, crazy family movie reference. But not like overt movie, but there's some. You'll see. Those movies are fucking weird, though. Chainsaw 1 and 2 are fucking weird. Like, the guy with the metal plate in his head has a coat hanger and he keeps scratching the metal.
Well, he's wearing a wig at first, so he keeps scratching his head.
Yeah.
And then he pulls off later, and like he's been scratching at the edges of his skin.
Yeah. Peeling away the skin around the metal thing.
And then he's been eating it and
the
licking
skin.
it the whole time.
Yeah, ugh. Fucking gross.
And when he smashes that guy's head with the hammer on the floor.
Super brutal hammer death.
Him over a period of time.
And then he wasn't dead.
Yeah,
he only got knocked out.
He was
his
flopping around.
Face cut off, and then like other parts of him flayed.
He was still alive.
And then he woke up. Ugh,
and
brutal.
Yeah, he woke up and he was all fucked up. And then he like said, "Get out of here."
And the girl was wearing his face and cowboy hat because they were friends. Ugh. But also, this movie is nonsense cartoon where the dad of the family won a chili cooking contest with his human remains.
It was all people.
Because they're cannibals.
And he was like, "Hey, I love this place."
Like that scene we just described of a guy gets flayed and his skin put on a friend.
It's horrible and it's tragic. And...
set around an old man winning a chili cooking contest. And it's so fucking dumb. With chainsaw duels.
And then they snuck into his lair.
Yeah, it's an outright comedy.
Yeah,
it's
same
a weird
thing
comedy.
happened. She got captured
again
at the dinner, and then the grandpa screwed up, killing her with the hammer
multiple times, and then he actually managed to knock her out.
He hit her once. Then
the son knocked her out, and then Dennis Hopper showed up.
He showed up with chainsaws, rescuing her.
Yeah.
So she escaped, and
then was chased by the guy with the metal in his head, and then
crazy guy.
She went up to the tallest tower of the amusement park and found the remains of their grandma with a chainsaw in her hand.
They worship.
With a beam of light on her. So she takes the chainsaw, and then the guy's like, "You killed our grandma!" And then she cuts him like once with the chainsaw, and he falls off the mountain. She pulls the chainsaw above her head and screams, and it zooms out to her standing on the top of the mountain. The end. What a fucking weird movie.
Crazy.
It's so fucking weird. But I think it's time we talk about the Puppet Master movies.
Yeah, they're not very good.
They are awful.
None of them are very good.
Let's give a basic summary of what all of the Puppet Master movies
Puppet
are about.
Master?
Puppet Master is a series of movies about Andre Toulon.
He is a frequent character.
He is the main character of these movies.
Even after
he dies. He dies at literally the beginning of the first movie.
He's already dead by the time the first movie actually
he dies
starts.
Over the opening
like
credits.
Prologue.
Or he kills himself over the opening credits.
Because he's on the run from the Nazis. He's on the run. They want his puppets.
They want his magic stringless puppets, which are regular puppets that have been injected with a magical serum that he got from an Egyptian wizard, which...
It has various origins.
Demons are involved at one point. They're the ones that originally gave that wizard the magic power.
So he injects him into his custom-made puppets because he's a master.
He's a master puppet craftsman.
Even before the moving puppets.
And that's why he was trusted with the recipe from the wizard. Is he's the master of the puppets, similar to Metallica.
Late 30s in World War II.
World War II.
He kills himself.
He kills himself after World War II.
Okay, he's in the hotel after.
The timeline is all over the place.
He's on the run from active Nazis.
Yes.
So he escapes to America. I don't know if that was in the past. And he's in a hotel as an old man.
And hides the puppets in the wall.
Hides the puppets in the wall and then blows his brains out.
Yeah.
And then the Nazis show up and they're like, well, fuck.
Then, like,
kill himself.
Modern day of
present day,
late 80s, early 90s. A bunch of sidekicks go to that hotel, and they get killed by the puppets
they
because
were brought there for like a dinner or something.
Yeah, because some guy was rebirthing himself as a puppet.
Yeah, it was a super psychic guy.
Super psychic.
Who figured out the secret of the puppets.
Everyone hated the whole movie.
He was mind controlling the puppets.
Yeah, because if you're the puppet master, the puppets have to do what you say.
Yeah, they're like neutral. They don't really care.
They don't care either way.
They have fun killing, but they're not being dicks about it.
No, they do it because they're told to. And then sometimes...
one of them's like made for killing.
Every time, randomly, they turn on the person that controls them with seemingly no catalyst.
Not clear why.
Like, zero catalyst. They're perfectly fine with taking all the orders. Then, just as it's near the end... they gotta... This is too far. This is too much. Not for us. Then they kill the guy. Every time. And then in the second movie, Andre Toulon...
They bring him back by injecting his corpse.
They inject his corpse with the fluid, and he's a villain now.
He's completely evil, and he's gonna turn some lady into his bride.
Yeah.
But his puppet bride, because he makes a life-size puppet for himself, and goes into it. He succeeds.
And then the puppets are like, no! And they kill him.
They smash him at the end. And he's just a shell filled with the fluid.
Yeah, it's weird.
The makeup was pretty good.
And the first two movies are the ones that had some amount of money spent on them.
The idea of the first one was interesting.
Yeah. The first one is a movie. Like, it had a movie budget. That's why they had the hotel and all that. They had
the psychic lady who could experience the past.
I don't even remember all that.
They were fucking on the bed.
Yeah.
Doing all that weird sex shit. And she was like, oh, they were fucking like this in the tub. And then the guy gets strapped down, and he's like, ooh, what are you doing to me? He's blindfolded.
When she does it like this, and you do it like that. Huh? Shake, 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 shake it. Yeah, Metro Station, baby. So, the Puppet Master movies are awful, but we watched 11 of them, I think. Maybe only 10. And, I think they spent, like,
There's a new one coming out.
There's a new one coming out, we're gonna watch it. They spent, like, $4 million total on, like, 10 movies. Which should tell you that most of these movies are reusing the same footage.
Oh, there's a lot of stock footage. And, like, was it the third or the fourth one? They found they got enough footage out of all the movies during the opening credits, which was a full credit sequence, on black. There was like nothing there. Yeah. Now it's footage of all the puppets doing like random shit to make it look like, oh, it's a movie about all these puppets fucking around. No,
there's the puppets are rarely in it because that costs money. Weirdly the best one of all of them is, I think it's the sixth one, or maybe the seventh.
Is that the one with the?
It's the one that is...
With the boy?
Barely a Puppet Master movie.
It's like an episode of You're Afraid of the Dark.
The puppets literally, like...
Long episode.
They stand on shelves for most of the movie, looking around a little bit, like they move a tiny bit. And then anytime they actually do anything, it's like stock footage. Except for, I think, 2 kills, where a rapist gets drilled up the ass to death. And...
Classic.
It's about this kid that's gonna get turned into a puppet.
Oh, it's like heavily foreshadowed.
Heavily foreshadowed.
Keeps having dreams.
Where
he wakes up and like the lower half of his body is like a wooden puppet with gears and shit.
And it's
like,
moving. And it's actually pretty haunting.
And it's like progressing
imagery
as he goes.
Yeah, it's weirdly like a solidly made little spooky movie.
And he falls in love
featuring puppet masters.
The guy's daughter.
Yeah.
Who's like.
And then
she's acting all sweet and innocent, but she's not.
No, she is.
But she is.
Yeah. You were randomly thinking she was going to turn on him.
It was like, oh, I bet she's working with her dad. But then they revealed, like, she didn't actually know anything about it.
That wasn't a reveal. You were the only one that thought she had anything to do with it. You were literally...
Possibility.
No, it was not. It was absolutely not. She was 100% innocent from the beginning.
I'm always suspicious of anyone.
Yeah, I know. Even though
Could've
from a
been-
storyline standpoint, you shouldn't have been.
She could have been working together with him.
Could have
and
been.
then would've
But
broken his heart.
you were adamant that it was this, to the point where you're saying it's a reveal when she's not. When it's like,
Kinda.
there was nothing setting up that she was a villain. It's
Could
not a
be.
reveal.
She could be secretly working with
No!
her
There was
father.
no setup. Anyway, the dad's trying to turn the boy into a puppet.
Living puppet.
And at the end, like, the whole time he's like, oh, he's making this craftsman of wood, and he's like,
He's really good.
he's turning into a puppet made of
Only
wood.
you can carve out these parts.
Yeah, because he's like a master craftsman, genius.
But he's like kind of slow.
But he's kind of a
Kinda
retard.
dull.
Yeah.
But he's sweet. And
But he's
innocent.
sweet, and he
And he
works
stood up.
hard.
He stood up for.
And he stood up for the girl, and he's a
In the beginning of the
genius. So then he gets
they fall
turned
in
into a
love.
puppet, and
Oh man, tragic.
he's like a robot with a TV screen face
It's like
and
just his
tank
face.
treads, and the guy's like, I did it! And then
He's laying on the ground.
he's charging up his electricity about to kill the guy, and the daughter's like, no!
Robert, no.
And then he shoots the lightning, and it zooms in on his TV screen face,
He shoots a beam at.
and then cuts to credits in the end of the movie.
Well, I thought no, he blows him up.
I thought it was just like
Destroys
he
him.
was shooting him, and then it was on his face, cut to credits.
Shoots him. He blows up.
I don't think he blew up.
I think he blew up.
We'll have to look this up and confirm it, because I'm pretty
He
sure
destroyed him.
I'm pretty sure he did not visually explode. I think it was
That's
just
the
he
case,
shot
then
him.
He could survive, and like it was just a shock. And then he puts his body back, and then him and the daughter, finish their story.
Yeah.
Happy ending.
That movie had like almost literally nothing to do with the puppets.
Yeah.
And then one of them was literally like a recap movie
Oh.
of just recapping every single movie up until that point. And then there was Retro Puppet Master starring
There.
Greg Sestero from The Room, aka Mark.
Oh, that's the one where it's in the past.
That's the one in the past where Mark Sestero, Greg is
It was Andre Toulon.
Andre Toulon as a young man making the first puppets, and it is awful. It's so bad. All these movies are terrible. Don't watch any of them.
And the one where the guy's playing laser tag with the puppets.
That was 3. 3 is so weird. This guy's a genius.
He's working on an AI project.
It's a genius computer hacker, and he's working on the secret of AI, and the way he tests AI is by setting up 2 little like Roomba robots to play laser tag with him, and he's like, their patterns are too simplistic.
They're not having fun.
They're not understanding. And then he finds the Puppet Master puppets, and he becomes the new Puppet Master. He's like, this is the secret of AI! Even though it's not. It's magic serum.
And then the next movie...
Not that. We're not done with that one yet. Because, meanwhile, in hell, demons are conspiring to destroy Andre Toulon's creation because he stole that serum from the demons.
Oh yeah, that was the one with the demons.
So they send demon puppets, which, upon being defeated, explode everyone in hell. And then in the next movie, they're just back.
Well, they beat him in the next movie.
And then in the next movie, he formed himself into a puppet, and they had a big final battle, but it was super lame.
Can't follow any of this shit.
It's awful. It's just not good. Like, they're barely even horror movies, 90% of the time.
I was thinking they were somewhat better than the Leprechaun movies, but now I don't know.
No. I think the one that's not like a Puppet Master movie at all is probably better than any of the Leprechaun movies, but the rest, no. And as a franchise, no. It's awful. It is terrible. Do not watch these movies. These are too bad even for us, and we enjoyed the Killjoy
We
movies.
experienced it, and don't recommend it.
No, we do not. But we also did watch another horror movie, Bones.
Oh yeah, Snoop Dogg's Haunted House movie.
Snoop Dogg's Haunted House Express.
Billed as a haunted house party movie, and the house party scene was like maybe 5 minutes.
5 to 10, maybe. I think it would be 10 if we include all the shots that are not of the party.
Yeah.
It's a story about Jimmy Bones,
The party.
Snoop Dogg,
Snoop
who in the
Dogg.
70s got fucked over
He's
and
a man
killed.
of the street.
He's a man of the street, man of the people, man of his neighborhood.
He was dealing, but none of that hard stuff.
He dealt weed just like the Southside Serpents.
He was for the people.
He was for the people, but then there was a corrupt cop that really wanted...
Working with his partner.
Yeah, working with his corrupt partner.
Who wanted to expand and, like, get out of the neighborhood.
Yeah.
But at the expense of the community.
And Snoop Dogg was like, nah, man, I'm cool with the status quo.
And they said, smoke this. Smoke this.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. The cop is like, yeah, you got all the status, and I just got the quo. And then, so the two cops in the 70s take Jimmy Bones go into his house, and they're like, here's a new business idea. We got to do this. And he's like, we got to sell this crack cocaine.
Wait, they're not both cops. It's just the one cop.
I think the other guy's a cop, too.
It's the corrupt cop.
I think the other guy's a cop, too.
No.
Yeah, he was the
Which
dad,
guy?
wasn't he?
The dad? No, he was like a businessman.
Oh. Well, either way, him and the corrupt cop, go to Jimmy Bones' house, and they're like, we got to sell this cocaine, this crack cocaine.
It's a business proposition to get this on the streets. And he said, no thanks. You guys just do what you ever want, but don't do it in this area.
You don't sell it to my neighborhood. This is mine.
Yeah.
And then the corrupt cop's like, nah, fuck that. And he pulls out a gun. And then they're like, you better smoke this crack, Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, it's a new drug.
And then he's like, man. And then he smokes the crack. And he's like, ooh.
He starts tripping hard.
Yeah, and he's like, he's dying. And then his girlfriend walks in. And she's like, Jimmy Bones! And then
the guy shoots him, and then he says, we're all in on this, and he makes them stab.
He makes each and every one of Jimmy Bones' friends stab him to death.
So
but then,
all complicit.
As Jimmy Bones' girlfriend's going to stab him, she's like, I can't do it! And then he
pulls himself up on
grabs it and pulls himself up so then she can get away with it, and he doesn't hold a grudge against her. So then, cut to modern day 2000.
Spirit is disturbed by two white guys.
Two white guys are
making
a drug deal, and they're getting fucked over because they roll up listening to Eminem in their nice car, and it's so perfect. And they get
the drug dealer hid the drugs in the wall of that local haunted house.
So they have to go in there,
it's
and then
like a rundown.
Jimmy Bones kills them, and that's about it.
Yeah, he absorbs their bodies.
He absorbs their bodies, and like one guy, he's like, he's screeching on, he's getting pulled into the house, and his nails pull off, and there's bloody streaks. And then the next day, the four main characters, four young local business owners, are moving into this house because they just bought it for their new club.
Yeah.
And they walk up on the porch, and there's bloody finger trails pulling in, and
they're fresh.
No one mentions it. They look at it, and then just move on.
Huh. That's weird.
Yeah, they do not see the odd... Then a guy from across the street's like, hey, don't go in that house! And then they go in the house, and we're like, man, fuck you, old man. And then inside, they find an evil dog with black, and he's got red eyes. And
steak.
They go to take it home, and that same guy's like, hey, don't take that dog!
You better kill that dog!
Stay away from that fucking dog! And then they're like, nah, fuck you, old man. And then as they're putting it in their car, another woman comes up, and she's like, you better kill that fucking dog. And they're like, nah, fuck you, old lady. And then the main guy goes with her and meets the daughter, and then...
she keeps warning him, stay out of the house.
Stay out of the house. Stay away from that fucking dog. And they're like, nah, you don't know what you're talking about. So then...
They find Snoop Dogg's body in the basement.
They find Snoop Dogg's body, steal his knife, steal his ring.
The guy's like, looks like he won't be needing
Jimmy Bones, stone is cold, and black is night. There's like a whole rhyme to go with Jimmy Bones.
Jimmy Bones. I don't remember any of that.
I don't either. It was something as like cold as stone, Jimmy Bones.
So then he revives as a ghost after getting enough.
They really wanted Jimmy Bones to be like a Freddy Krueger.
He revives as a ghost. He's walking down the street, and the drug dealers are like, "Hey, you want something to get you high?" And he's like,
"Man, this guy's crazy."
Looking away from them, he's like, "I'm on a natural high, a supernatural high." And then he gets a
supernatural high
because he's a ghost. He knows.
Yeah, he's fully aware of his situation. He knows he's a ghost. He knows who fucked him over.
He gets the guys, and off screen you see a wall, and their outlines in blood appear. He like
First,
pulls
a
splash,
a light splatter outline of them
a little
appears,
bit of blood,
and then it fills in like a paint
Then,
tool of their blood, and them
like
in
a full
poses
cartoon
like
silhouette.
cartoon people having jumped out a window or
Just
a wall.
their blood.
And it's so fucking dumb.
And they don't show it, so it's like, how did he do that?
So then they're at the club is all set up, and it's the party is going.
It's bumping.
It's bumping, it's beaten, and then that dog lures one of the guys away and eats him.
As a woman.
As a woman, transforms into the dog, eats him, and then the main guy walks up and he's like, "Yo, man, where you at?" And then he opens the door and he sees the dog eating him, and then the dog looks up, face morphs in halfway to Snoop Dogg, and says, "I ain't eating some fried chicken, motherfucker," and then burps out maggots.
Someone's joke.
Literally like
Burp sound effect.
burp sound effect. Burp dot mauve plays as he burps out maggots all over the main guy, like,
and then they start raining.
in a beam of maggots from his mouth that knocks the main guy back and down, and then he walks up and burps it again at him, and it's like streams of maggots.
That'd be fucking gross.
And then it cuts down to the party below, and maggots start raining from the ceiling.
Everywhere.
And then, like, one maggot falls on this guy's food, and then he takes a bite of it, and then he looks at it, and it's all maggots! And it's like, well, was this magic, or did we just not see that many maggots happen?
It's supernatural maggots.
Supernatural high. And then, this movie just keeps going, and, like, people get taken to hell.
He nearly gets their soul. Oh yeah, he gets revenge on all the other guys.
He gets revenge on everyone.
Practical effects.
A lot of practical effects.
They had a wall of souls.
This
and it's
movie
people just covered in black.
Is weirdly legit. Like, it
Black,
looks
grime,
pretty
slime.
good. It's written fairly solidly. It is a surprisingly solid and
Well put
entertaining
together.
movie.
Strong message throughout, like the themes. Family,
betrayal,
and, like, corruption, and class struggle.
The class struggle was a big part of it.
The kid's dad, he wanted to get out and like be more successful.
Yeah, and he was the one that killed Jimmy Bones.
He wanted to fuck over people doing it, whereas Snoop Dogg was like, I'm all about the people.
Snoop Dogg
this is good enough
had enough for himself and helped the community.
Yeah.
As where the dad,
that's why everyone loved him.
He just wanted for himself. He wanted more for himself.
Yeah.
So he could have
while he was successful later on.
He had to fuck over that entire neighborhood.
Yeah.
A formerly bustling neighborhood is now dead and scary.
Yeah, it wasn't the neighborhood practically destroyed because
almost
of that.
entirely destroyed because of this one faction. And Jimmy Bones is back, gets all the revenge.
His son was like, he finally showed off, this is what I've been doing. I'm gonna turn this building into a hot club.
He's like, you sell this house now!
And he's like,
sell it!
He's just surprised and like shocked and like looking at the house in disbelief.
Is this some kind of fucking joke, son?
No, you can't do this. You gotta sell this fucking house. You cannot do this here. Look at this neighborhood. Nobody's gonna come here!
And then he starts stomping and yelling like a little kid.
You can see the neighborhood's like, it's a shit neighborhood.
And then the next day, the party's there and it's a full house. No explanation how they advertised it.
They were popular.
Or people heard about it, anything.
Yeah, this is like year 2000.
Year 2000, they just threw a party the next night, and everyone showed up. Tons of people.
They probably advertised some way.
They probably threw up some flyers.
In a phone book.
They tweeted it out.
This is pre-9/11.
It's 2000, they tweeted it out to the airplanes. Yeah, I wholly recommend checking out Bones.
Well, at the end, he like summons a bunch of ghosts.
Oh yeah, and then
hold someone there.
They burn his blood, but then
they burn. It's like supernatural. You have to take care of all the remains.
Yeah,
so
and they beat him, and they get out of the house. But then the main character finds a picture, and it's
that we've seen the whole time. And
we knew, but he finds out that the main girl and her mom, the main girl's father, is Jimmy Bones.
Because the mom was pregnant when Jimmy Bones got killed.
And then he turns around and she has thriller eyes, and it's it doesn't literally laugh.
Even though, remember that we have known this whole time.
Yes. We saw this coming.
That she is his daughter.
Immediately. Yeah, the moment this plot line was introduced, we were like, oh, so she's his daughter. And you gotta burn his foot.
Think back to when she decided to stay the night over at the house.
Yeah, her mom...
For no reason, not to have sex. All right, they were fooling around. She's like, no, I don't want to do this right now. And he's like, all right, good night, and leaves the room.
This haunted house that is down the street from her own home...
That her mom has forbid her to go into.
That her mom, who she expressly knows is psychic...
For real.
For real, is not a joke, is actually psychic... told her to stay the fuck out of that haunted house. She decides to go hang out there and just sleep there.
Yeah.
And despite living
bed.
down the block.
A sleepover.
And then she has a nightmare dream where she gets raped by ghosts.
But those ghosts are Jimmy Bones ghosts.
Her dad. So...
There's hands sliding all over her body, getting down in there.
Jimmy Bones molests his own daughter
she was
as a
thinking,
ghost.
She was thinking it was the guy, and she's like, no, I don't want to do this. No. And she's like screaming.
I think
then he comes in the door and he's like, what's wrong? And she's like,
I think they just didn't think that part through. And they just wanted a creepy scene
scary.
Where the girl gets molested in the bed because it's sexy.
That would be fucking scary.
It is. It's scary and sexy.
I mean, I don't know about the sexy part.
That's the logic people have for putting rape in their horror movies, is it's like, well, we get some nudity in here. It's scary.
I'm thinking about, like, in terms of threat, like, it would be fucking terrifying to be roped in bed.
Absolutely. And it's
nowhere.
scary, but it's also then, like, that's some sex.
Someone manhandling your junk.
Yeah, it's not cool. I'm not a fan. But the logic of why it's in there...
Finger in your butt like you're in a scrum.
It's for some sexy. They want to get some tits in there. Want to get some gropage.
Well, I mean, there was no nudity in that scene.
There wasn't, but she got groped.
Yeah, she got groped bad.
Yep. I think that's all bones. Real quick, I remembered a thing we need to do with Puppet Master. And let's see if we can name all the puppets still.
I can't.
I'm gonna see if I can do it. Let me see if I can do it. You got Blade, Tunneler, Torch, Leech Woman, Jester, Pinhead, Decapitron, Bombshell, Kamikaze, Ninja, Six Shooter, and then I think there's only like a few other extra ones that are on the side. Fuck the Puppet Master movies. Don't watch the Puppet Master.
They don't
movies.
use all of them in every movie.
They don't. They expressly don't.
They introduce Six Shooter in like the second or third movie.
Yeah.
And in like the fourth or fifth one, they open a drawer and say, "Oh, there's a Six Shooter puppet in here," but it's not working
because What's really weird about Puppet Master is that despite the movies jumping all over the place in the timeline, like Leprechaun, the Puppet Master puts a ton of effort into trying to make it make sense.
Continuity.
But it doesn't make any fucking sense.
And then there's like secret compartments that like, oh, this puppet was in here the whole time. But it was never used.
Ugh. Anyway, we have one more franchise we've watched recently.
After years in the waiting.
Years of me saying I don't want to do it. Even after getting into horror, I was reluctant.
Horror, you were like, Hellraiser.
Hellraiser. What, with Pinhead and the Cenobites?
I haven't heard much about it before we started watching them, and I was looking around, and like apparently the later ones are bad.
Shocker!
Yeah,
because
so far 1 through 4 were pretty good compared to Puppet Master and Leprechaun.
Compared to the bottom of the barrel, yes, they were surprisingly entertaining.
And even on their own, like the first one had practical effects.
Yeah, let's quickly introduce what Hellraiser is, because I know a lot of people actually don't know what the fuck goes on in most of these movies.
Oh, really?
I had no fucking clue. Because I thought it was just people get taken to a torture dimension.
I still kind of have a problem with some of the way they...
It doesn't make sense. It's so inconsistent. So there's a puzzle box called the Lament Configuration.
Cool last name.
It's a cool name. It's a cool little box.
It's just like gold decals.
Gold over wood.
No moving parts. Doesn't really...
Well, it does move.
I mean, just looking at it normally.
Oh, yeah, on its own, like it's just a little box.
Like it doesn't show what it does.
And then it's like a puzzle box, and like certain people they solve it.
You don't actually do anything to it.
Not
it's
expressly.
Just the person.
You just kind of rub it and it
you
moves.
almost understand it.
And then opens a door to hell where Pinhead and the Cenobites come out and they're like, we're gonna take you to hell and make you enjoy torture and sex and all this.
Was that what happened in the first one?
No, that's the basic summary of what happens with the lament configuration. The first one is this guy opened the lament configuration
because he's looking to push his desires.
Yeah, he wanted to find the ultimate pleasures and the Cenobites are all about pain and pleasure
because they push the limits of all senses.
They push it all to the limit.
So it's like morality and shame are just out the door.
So this guy, then some blood gets spilled on his remains, and it revives him from the Cenobite dimension, but he needs more blood to come back fully. So he convinces his brother's wife to start feeding him dead bodies, and
because he was fucking her.
He was fucking her, and he's kind of a rapist.
She was into it, so she wants to revive him.
Yeah, and she's a horrible person, and there's a daughter, and she gets involved in all the puppet.
They kill her dad, and then
Hellraisers.
The guy gets revived in his skin.
Yeah, and then
he's like, "Come here, daughter."
Yeah, and then she uses the magic box to send all the Cenobites back to hell.
Yeah, it summoned them, but it can beat them.
And then in the second one, that girl is in an insane asylum, and the Cenobites get summoned again, and she has to go into hell, and then the evil doctor becomes the ultimate Cenobite.
Well, no, the evil doctor at the beginning, he was like in the hospital helping out and shit, and then he got a special girl patient who was like into puzzles.
Yeah.
And he gave her the lament configuration, and then she opened it, but then she got saved.
Yeah.
By
and
the
then
girl.
The main guy goes into the doctor's office, and there are 3 lament configurations.
Oh, yeah.
But the other 2 never come up again.
Ready.
There's only just the one.
For his sacrifice to the lament configuration, he took from the lowest sub-level, there was an insane asylum.
Yeah.
Like, with just, like, crazy guys screaming and
just
loud machinery,
looks
too.
like a Freddy Krueger movie.
Like a nightmare
for
level.
no reason.
It's,
like, in a hospital.
And that's, like, the most threatening situation you can imagine being in real life. Is just, like, a crazy ward that you can't escape from.
No.
Because they have you there on purpose.
It literally looked like a horror game's, like, evil version of an insane asylum.
So you'll necessarily know if anyone in this level is actually crazy or just like
if this
prisoner.
guy's evil. Yeah.
No, he's evil. The guy is evil. Like, it's his little place.
And then,
he grabs a prisoner out of there, sacrifices his ass.
Yeah, and then it
revives.
Brings back the mom from the first one, who then she's a Cenobite, sort of,
but
tricks him.
Well, yeah, when you come back, like, immediately, you're still, like,
you're still you, but she was in there for a while, and she got into it.
The longer you're in there, the crazier you get. That's like Pinhead.
Yeah.
Is the Cenobites, that's all they are. They're just people that went to...
People that were in there.
Somewhere?
They say hell.
Hell?
It is hell. They say hell. It's not clear if it is actually hell, but they call it hell.
They say heaven's not real.
Yeah. They call that place hell. The Cenobite dimension is called hell.
Alright. So it's... like, what's going on there? They're not like aliens, though. Because at the end of the second one, the doctor guy, who is made into a Super Cenobite... Because he was straight up evil. They start from people who want to expand their desires, and then they get like all weirded up like Pinhead and all grotesque.
But he had evil desires out the gate.
Pinhead, he was like a mastermind. Pinhead was just some asshole who was in a war
and found a box.
Like he blew his persona right off of him.
Yeah, Pinhead is expressly a different entity mentally from the person that went in. So, like, you kind of lose yourself in the process, but the doctor didn't really lose himself because he was already evil.
Yeah. Well, like, that's why I'm thinking, like, he was more evil, so he was, like, he had his desires going.
Yeah.
So he was, like, ready.
And he comes out of the thing, he's like, to think I resisted.
He was fucked up, too.
Oh, yeah. He got fucked.
He had, like, scalpels.
Oh, yeah. At the end of the first one, though, the guy gets caught by the Cenobites, and then the dumbest line in the movie of he's all chained up, and he looks at the girl and he's like, Jesus wept. And then he gets pulled to pieces.
That's their signature too. They explode you.
They have chains with hooks, like hook into every different part of your body,
in your face,
and pull you to pieces.
Because it's like piercings and shit.
Yeah, all about penetration and that shit.
But the doctor was evil. He's gonna rape that girl.
And then at the end of that one,
they run away. They get away.
They seal the Cenobites into a pillar.
That was the end of the second one?
Yes, because then in the third one, they find the pillar and sell it as art. And then the guy gets it, and then the Cenobites come out, and it's hell on earth!
They feed on the girl he was having sex with.
Yeah, and Pinhead slurps her skin off like it's a straw.
His upside down head shoots out a chain and like pulls her skin off.
Yeah, and then he slurps it up.
Oh,
it's so dumb.
And then he tempts the guy.
Yeah, he sits there and it's just his head
feeding him more people
in the statue, and he's like, "You could give me more stuff, and I could come back."
And the statue has a range.
It does. There's
like a couple feet around it. Like,
yeah.
If you're in that area, it will get you.
That's another thing we haven't mentioned yet, is that Pinhead himself is kind of just a shithead. Like, he's kind of a dumbass.
Yeah, in the second movie, when they all get deformed, so you can see the real people they used to be, and they're all just like shitty people.
Yeah, they were these big, like larger than life evil monsters.
One's like a kid.
Chatters, the guy that has no face and just chatters his teeth all the time. He's just a kid, and then there's just a fat guy and some girl. That's it.
But then in 3, it's him.
Pinhead is still Pinhead. Because everyone likes Pinhead, and then he like makes a bunch of new Cenobites.
That's 3.
That's 3.
Which one's 3? Hell on Earth?
Hell on Earth.
Then what's the next one?
The next one is the space one.
Okay.
Where it starts in the 22nd century.
Yes, in space. On
and
a
then
space station.
The descendant of the person who made the Lament configuration is telling the story about how
he has a robot in another room. He's watching on a monitor as he controls it
with magic gloves.
VR gloves.
Yeah.
To control the robot to solve the Lament configuration, and it does it, and like the robot explodes and summons Pinhead in the game.
The Cenobites come in, but they're locked in this room.
Yeah, because he built it that way, and then Space Marines show up and say, "You're under arrest." And he's like, "You fucked up the plan.
We gotta talk about the plan."
And then he tells them the story, like, early in the 1700s France.
Yeah, and then
the Lemerchant, the original creator of the Lament configuration.
This guy is contracted to make the Lament configuration. He goes to deliver it.
He's the master toy maker.
And there's Adam Scott from Parks and Recreation and You Talking You Two to Me, and he's there.
And some old guy.
Some old man.
Both, like, creeps. Adam Scott is the old guy's apprentice.
Yeah, and then the old man gets killed, and the apprentice takes over.
He commissions the box and then uses it on some girl to summon
a demon, Angelique or something,
into her body.
Yeah,
and he's like, "Oh, the pleasures we'll have." Nah. And then Adam Scott's in the background, kind of hiding because he's like, "I don't know about this." And then she ends up killing the old man because he's fucking gross.
Yeah.
And then fucks Adam Scott for like 400 years.
But then Adam Scott's in control, so it's like and then she betrays him.
But the guy who created the box, he witnesses some of it, and he's like, "What the fuck have I done?" And he like starts drawing out plans to fix it. But he's killed before he can like even get off the ground.
Yeah.
Then it's present day.
It's present day,
90s.
1990, I think. 96?
It's
96.
It's the middle of the 90s, and at the end of 3, when the woman dropped the Lament configuration into some cement, and then afterwards they showed a building that was designed after the Lament configuration, had the same theme going on, like it influenced the design.
Influenced it.
And 4, it is revealed at the head of this building is the descendant of the toy maker who made the box.
Yeah, and he's working on a modern art piece.
Working on a modern art piece based on those designs.
Which he come to him in a dream because they have a weird psychic link across generations.
And he looks exactly like him. It's the same actor.
It's the same actor. It's the same guy.
It's him. And so he's trying to figure out how to do this, but like he kind of can't.
The technology in there, he's trying to have like this
in a room,
perfect light configuration where it all bounces off each other and is self-sustaining. but the technology's just not there.
He manages to beat them, but
He manages to send the Cenobites away, dying in the process.
But his kid lives on.
But his kid and I think his wife both live.
Yeah, so he beats them, but like not permanently.
No.
And
He just
then-
sends them back.
then-
Saves their situation.
Yeah, and then in Act 3, back to space.
Back to the 22nd century.
3-act story.
Yes.
Back in space, like, oh yeah, well, see, here I caught them, and I'm trying to enact my plan. And when they go back to space, first thing you see is that space station, and you realize that is a giant lament configuration.
It's an unfolded
An
square
unfolded box
with different things. Where like, this is clearly going to fold together.
It folds into a box, and like it's so obvious looking at it then, and neither of us got it.
We didn't get it at first. No, we figured it out right then. Of like, that's going to transform,
Yep.
and it did.
Yeah.
And they put Pinhead in the space station size lament configuration. Used the new self-sustaining laser system to electronically trap him in
endless amount
there
of energy
to fully then
folding it in on itself.
explode the space station and kill Pinhead.
Yeah, he got him. Finally
They
got him.
kill Pinhead in the
And
22nd
yeah,
century.
This is a plan spanning hundreds of years.
Hundreds of years. And the guy in the 22nd century is a super genius, and he's like figured out the entire history of it. And then he at one point gets his memories fully connected, so it is the same guy.
What? I don't
Yeah,
remember
that happened. And it is so fucking weird, and they kill him. And
I thought it was weird at first, like, why aren't they even in space at all? And then like, oh, okay.
3-act story, it all came together.
They knew what they were
It
doing.
was really dumb, but it was fun.
Dumb
It was
fun.
really
Like,
entertaining.
It ended with a huge space explosion.
Yeah, it was great. It was
What
good
more
fun.
can you ask for? Like, of all the guys that don't go to space, huh?
There's
Freddy,
a lot less
never been to space.
you can ask for, and that less is number 5.
What?
Hellraiser 5.
Oh, that's the one that was trying to be, like, serious, kind
We
of?
this is the one we most recently watched.
I saw it as a kid, so I remembered some of it, but it was a lot more serious and edgy in my child's memory.
This one was the one that was in year 2000, and it was trying to be Jacob's Ladder, but
Now that I've seen Jacob's Ladder, I know what you mean.
it's 1-to-1 just trying to
It's
be
like
a Jacob's Ladder.
half spooky shit, but half just going around memories.
And just this guy being shitty. Like, you don't care about the guy at all. You hate him, actually.
This guy was a douche. He was the biggest piece of shit.
Actual piece of shit. Cheated on
Cheating
his
on
wife.
his wife with a prostitute.
Neglected his wife. Had cocaine.
Addicted to drugs. Was like a big asshole. He was like good at solving puzzles.
Yeah, he's like a genius.
Didn't come into play in like the last third of the movie.
Not at all. Because they were kind of like building up like, oh, he's a match for Pinhead.
He's pulling magic tricks while he's fucking this prostitute.
Yeah, doing magic tricks, and he's just awful.
Looking so smug as he like pulls something out of his sleeve.
And I think Pinhead had like total maybe 5 to 10 minutes of screen
He made an
time
appearance in this movie.
in this hour and 40-minute movie.
It was like a Silent Hill room where there's monsters.
It was-
There was the 2 latex.
Yeah, the latex sex demons.
Eyeless demons, sexy demons.
And they were like making out with him and fucking him, and then he's like, no, I gotta get out of here.
They were like putting their hands underneath his skin.
And he liked
He just
it.
went- he was like, oh yeah.
And then he had to run away for some reason, and then there was a guy that
Then
was
there
just in
was a- yeah.
arms and a head.
And a twisted face.
He's like, gang, gang, gang,
I thought it
gang,
looked
gang, gang.
alright.
Yeah, it wasn't
There
a
was
bad
just-
design.
What other monsters were there?
None. There were no
Like,
other
How
Cenobites.
fucked is that? That's stupid.
Real fucked. The whole appeal
Two?
is stupid Cenobites.
He ran into the only 2 sets, and then immediately was cornered by both of them, and then
He woke
just
up.
got away.
Yeah. As where you compare that to Hellraiser 3, where there's the CD head Cenobite,
It was the disc jockey,
The
from
DJ.
The party. He got killed by the CDs,
and then there were these 2 and 4 twin security guards, and then Pinhead was like, you want to be together forever, I'll let you. And then he like puts something between their head, and then
The rod.
it like twists
It, like,
their
grabs-
faces and heads
Yeah.
together somehow. and they're like,
And then
ah!
their special move is they separate,
And then
get someone to stand in between them, and
then they fuse into them.
Yeah, they fuse into them and like twist them up.
It's so dumb.
Fucking weird.
And there was none of that fun in 5. It was just terrible.
Oh, 5 was garbage.
Awful. Boring. Long.
It was like a Groundhog Day. He gets to the end, and then it just happens all over again.
Yeah, and
Welcome to hell.
it has no satisfying conclusion. It just kind of ends. It's awful. And that's the last one we've seen. We still have like 5 to go.
I like the demon lady's black tongues, like burning the fingers.
I don't know why you're so obsessed with that one, because it has like...
I'm saying like that's like the one good thing in there.
It's nothing though. Why is that a good thing?
Because like for effects, like what else do they do?
Nothing! And that did nothing!
I think that's kind of interesting. Like, it got them.
Got what?
Like their tongues are burning. You think like you get licked by that?
But the time the guy got licked by it, nothing happened.
Maybe it felt good to him.
But they didn't show it visually happening.
Pain and pleasure.
It happened once and never came up again.
It's a special ability that only activates on fingers.
That's stupid.
Could be. We'll never know.
We never will. But all these movies stemmed from a single short story. Was it Clive Barker?
Yeah.
Clive Barker wrote a single short story and then spawned 11 movies, like 100 short stories in a collection, and
100.
something like that. And then like there's a Sherlock Holmes crossover I need to read. It's a whole fucking cavalcade of bullshit. We've been at this for a while, almost an hour and a half. Say we call it there.
Wow, really?
Yeah. Covered a bunch of bullshit.
Black Panther.
Black Panther's pretty good.
Best
Puppet
Marvel
Master,
movie
not very
I've
good.
seen.
Bones, very good. Hellraiser, take it or leave it. It's alright. Here and there. Better concept than movies.
Hellraiser.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's we don't even know what Pinhead's really about.
Pain.
He's always making speeches.
He's so philosophical, but has like
Nothing
nothing
clear.
to say.
Yeah, he's just talking.
He just likes his own voice.
And he's like pretty shit.
He's so shit. He gets punked out all the
Yeah,
time.
in the first one, the guy escaped from the Cenobite dimension, and she was like, "Hey, this guy escaped," and he was like,
Because,
no.
yeah, they were about to force her to go to hell, and she's like, hey, there's this guy, he escaped. I'll give you him if you let me go. And then he's like, no one has escaped from us. But if he had, what would it matter?
Yeah, and he's like dealing with them.
Like, you just said no one escaped, and now you're saying they could have.
He's like being arrogant, but nah, he got away.
Yeah, and then he's like, very well, we'll give you a chance. And he's so full of shit.
They aren't very good.
They are not. The Cenobites are surprisingly inept.
And then the third one, that was the one that was like Jacob's Ladder, where it was like flashbacks to like war.
There were a few war flashbacks, yeah.
War flashbacks, like Vietnam War.
Yeah. I think...
Because Pinhead was pretending to be the guy.
Yeah.
Because it was the guy that became Pinhead. He got split off at the end of the second movie. Yeah, he got beaten by the doctor guy.
Yeah.
Who blew Pinhead away from the guy.
Yeah.
Revealing that Pinhead's just some guy.
Yeah. But then Pinhead had become a larger concept than the guy himself.
After they split off.
Which is why none of the other Cenobites came back, but he did because
he was able to become like even better.
He was like, he's the leader.
He's more powerful.
Yeah. And then they refused and...
He came into reality.
Yeah. Yeah. Hell on Earth.
Wait, no. He came into reality, then got refused, so I guess he's more powerful now.
Sure. Why not? Yeah. Fuck it. See ya.